they're like in big trouble here. Yeah, they have like a Bowmaster or something, right? Or they have a Boseiju. Sure, I'll take that. I'll take an extra land drop. No way! Hello everyone, I'm back again. It's Teferi in real life. I'm the control guy. And yeah, welcome back. It's been a while since I was here, but I had some stuff to do IRL, so yeah, back to making videos for you guys. You guys are smashing it. I'm so impressed. I did not expect this to like I just genuinely didn't expect this to go this way. Like I didn't expect you guys to like actually watch the videos and actually like engage and stuff. So thank you so much. I feel super grateful, and to all of you who invest in the subs and in like the channel, as we're only at like what, under 30 subs. I got your names written down, guys. Don't worry, I got you. But yeah, so far so good. Thank you so much for the support. All I can do is glaze you guys because you guys are the best. But yeah, let me show you the brew I've made today and what we're gonna be cooking with today in the kitchen of control. Okay, so today, well, for this deck, I've been working on this deck for a long time, but yeah, it took me a while to make this deck because didn't have wildcards, but we'll get to that. Basically, this deck, this is currently my best blue-white-ish control deck. It's kind of, you might see the sneaky Thundering Falls in here, so yeah, it's kind of Jeskai, but it's blue-white control. So, basically, we had this problem where the format was very fast, and we needed to slow it down. How best do you slow down a format? You become a cowboy, apparently. It's high noon, baby. So yeah, high noon. Each player can only cast each player can't cast more than one spell each turn, and you can sacrifice it to deal 5 damage to any target. The thing is, I have tried back in the day to make like prison decks, like prison control decks, where like I lock you out of playing the game essentially. But it's not easy because these effects are symmetrical. So I can't cast more than one spell either. I can only cast one spell, they can only cast one spell. So how do I turn this into a benefit for me? Obviously, playing this instantly slows down the game. But then, the problem with this is, if they have, like, counter magic or burn spells, they can still cast them on your turn, right? If I cast this, and then I want to, say, dig through time on my turn, and they have a counterspell, I can't fight back, because I've cast my spell per turn. So what do? Teferi Time Raveler. They now can't cast spells during my turn, and they can't respond to spells in general. Obviously, they can't respond to spells anyway, because if I have High Noon on their turn and they try to resolve something and I counter it, then they can't respond because they've cast their spell. But Teferi plus High Noon, this is what I say. I call it, and in this video I'm going to call it a hard lock. It's not a hard lock, because they can in theory get out of this. But being able to only cast one spell on your turn, but I get to cast a spell on my turn and on your turn, that's how we basically break the parity of this effect being symmetrical. So yeah, and then in the late game, the reason why we have 2 red lands in the mana base, Thundering Falls, it's just nice to have another Surveil land anyway, so I would run this anyway. I would run 3 Surveil lands, but Thundering Falls might as well have a red one. And then Raugrin Triome, similarly, it's red for late game to play, but you can also cycle it if you don't need it. The only reason we have the red is so that in the late game we can activate High Noon, and it comes up sometimes where like this is your win. This kind of also acts as your win condition where you can blow up your High Noons to dome them for 5. 4 High Noons is 20 damage, so in theory we can win the game just off of High Noon, but obviously that's not how it goes. So we have Kaheera, no creatures in the main deck. We have Kaheera to beat them down once we have the lock. We have the Wandering Emperor, very spicy. So if they ever don't cast a spell during their turn, when I have the lock, or even just during my turn off of mana drain mana, I can cast the Wandering Emperor, and she starts beating down. Like the soldiers she makes are no joke. Like it seems a little slow, but it's good, and it's nice that she has flash, and she can also double down as a removal option in aggressive matchups. Then one big Teferi. He's really just here. He doesn't need. We technically don't need big Teferi, but it's good to have it. And like sometimes you'll be able to mana drain something into Teferi and then just win the game off that. And then Lórien Revealed and Dig Through Time just to like refill your hand eventually. This deck is honestly mostly counterspells. We have 4 counterspells, 4 mana drain, and we're running Reprieve. Sorry, Reprieve. Reprieve because Reprieve isn't really good in normal control decks because it's not a counterspell. It only returns the spell back to hand. But if you can only cast 1 spell a turn, Reprieve now basically countered the spell. It becomes memory lapse where they have the spell in hand but they can't cast it, and you draw a card off Reprieve. That's why I'm running Reprieve here and not Memory Lapse, because you draw a card off of it in the hard lock. And Reprieve can also do some serious damage to some decks. It's niche, it doesn't come up often, but for example, if they delve a spell and you Reprieve it back to their hand, they've exiled their whole graveyard and can't cast it anymore. If they have an Uro, they can't, and they bring it back from the graveyard, you Reprieve it, it's back in their hand again. Or if they have a Titan, what's that Titan called? I hate the Titan. Wait. Yeah, if they have a Primeval Titan, and they have a Cavern of Souls, so you can't counter it, you can Reprieve it back to their hand and buy some time. So yeah, Reprieve is relevant in some situations, but oftentimes just hard countering the spell is usually better. We have Gaea's Blessing for the mill matchup. We literally can't cast it. We can't cast this card. We're never trying to cast this. This is only in the deck to prevent mill because I was playing with no anti-mill. I got milled out so often. I was playing with Nexus of Fate. Nexus of Fate was almost good enough, but the problem is you couldn't get to 7 mana before they mill you out. So at some point, the Nexus is the only card left in your deck, and you draw it, but you only have 6 mana, and you can't cast it. So yeah, that's why I was off Nexus. So yeah, I'm just back on Gaea's Blessing. They mill this, you shuffle your entire deck back into your library. You can even, in the late game, if you're milling out and you have this and you still have a Surveil land, the sneaky trick is you can fetch a Surveil land, and you can play a Surveil land after putting this on top with Brainstorm, and then you get your library back into your graveyard back into your library. Pretty cool. As the rest of the cards, just board wipes. Just for the creature matchups, you want to have board wipes and removal. Get Lost, pretty good card in my opinion. It costs 2 mana, which is a lot, but being able to destroy creatures, planeswalkers, and enchantments is just so versatile that it's just worth it to have in the deck. Sunset Revelry, pretty much only for the burn and maybe the domain matchup. Just gaining 4 life is just super good. Making the blockers helps, and the cantrip, it just cantrips is nice. And yeah, that's about it. So we win the game essentially with the Wandering Emperor, Kaheera, and yeah, or Teferi. Like, I would say there's not many win conditions, but you can win. And by the way, oh yeah, we just have High Noon to blast them in the face. If all goes wrong, we can just sacrifice our High Noons and kill them slowly. So yeah, that's the deck. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the games. Real quick before we get into the matches, just wanted to mention what matchups this deck has. So essentially, and how the game plan is. So against creature matchups, you want to get your High Noon down early and start removing their creatures slowly one by one, and then eventually lock them out. Against control matchups, you want to hold up counterspells and then sneak the Teferi and High Noon in. You will usually want to sneak the Teferi in first by, like, I don't know, making them do something on their turn. Like, for example, trying to resolve a Day Through Time or a Wandering Emperor on their turn so they counter that spell. And then on your turn, they don't have counter magic. Then you get to cast a Teferi into get High Noon into have open counter the magic for the rest of the game. Then the burn matchup, you want to get High Noon down as fast as possible so they can't, like, keep double spelling and burning you out. And funny enough, I think this deck's best matchup is the Show and Tell matchup, because Show and Tell, they can't beat this card. They can't beat High Noon. It's so bad for them, and they need to, like, they don't even have a good removal spell for it in their deck. I don't think Show and Tell runs a Boseiju these days. I've seen Show and Tell run Croson and Grip, but yeah, man, like, they have a hard time. Like, if you don't just counter the Show and Tell, because we are a 11 counterspell deck. If you can't just counter the Show and Tell, you can just put a High Noon in, and then they can't win anymore because they've already cast Show and Tell. So they can't, even with the Omniscience on the battlefield, they can't do anything. And then you can get lost the Omniscience. But, like, they just can't go off, because even with the Omniscience in play, if they cast a Dig Through Time, you just counter it. And that's it. That's their spell for the turn. Then it goes back to you. Then you cast a Fairy, bounce their Show and Tell, and, like, it's just over, right? And this like just cleanly answers, like it answers Veil of Summer, it answers all the options they have. The only thing they can do against this is Thoughtseize it away. Like this card absolutely destroys the show and tell matchup, which I love. Then there's the Self Mill deck. We just kind of struggle against that one. We just have to hope and pray that they can't assemble their stuff before we can start looping Supreme Verdicts. And then the mill matchup, obviously, with the mill matchup, whenever I have a control deck that runs Gaia's Blessing, I just say the matchup now becomes pray that they can't mill this and then surgical it, or hit this with Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So the thing you want to not counter anything until they cast a Surgical Extraction or a Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and you want to counter those spells specifically. Yeah. So yeah, that's the matchup so far. I think this deck is pretty good, and you're about to see it in action. I'll see you in the games. Okay, so this hand is unfortunately not keepable. No removal, no white source, no way to find a white source. So I have to mulligan this. This hand is not amazing, but at least it has lands. I'll put back the Wandering Emperor, I think, and keep this. Undercity Sewers, so we might be in the show and tell matchup here. Kept on top. We find a clutch Flooded Strand. That's really good for us. It could be show and tell or mill. I'm not sure. Mystic Sanctuary. And Thoughtseize. Sure. I have 2 Get Losts. Pretty good so far. Get Lost directly answers the Omniscience. They take Teferi, okay. That means they might be the Born Upon a Wind deck that can win at instant speed. Gotta be careful for that. Surveil, another land. They could potentially win next turn. They could potentially win next turn. I think I have to bin this. I want to try and find a counterspell. I didn't find a counterspell. Okay. Okay. No land. Okay, that's very good for me. I get to cycle this. I'm assuming they're show and tell, by the way. If that's not clear to anyone watching, I'm assuming that they're playing show and tell. Still no land. That's really bad. No land. Still no counterspell. I need to find one of my 11 counterspells. I have 11 in the deck. Actually, let me open the deck tracker real quick. 8, 16... 24% chance to draw a counterspell here. Or, I mean, High Noon is also fine. So I have, like, I'm drawing, like, to, like, I'm drawing to more than a 30% chance of having a good spell here. Only 1 Prismatic Vista in the deck, so I don't have to worry too much about not being able to fetch anything, even though I drew my basic island. Okay, they're not winning this turn either. That's very good for me. Lórien Revealed, not great. At least now we get 2 attempts at killing the Omniscience in response to like a Born Upon the Wind. But they could have 2 Born Upon a Winds, I don't know. Yep, they are definitely show and tell. You guys might be able to see what High Noon can do against this deck if we find a High Noon or a counterspell. Although now a counterspell isn't even that great because they probably have Veil of Summer. Brainstorm, so they definitely have more Atraxas in hand, I suppose. Like I'd be in a very bad spot if they just Omniscience in and Traxa. Because then I have to waste one of my removal spells on a creature and they draw a bunch of cards off of it. So, Omniscience players learn from this. Against the control mirror, sometimes just putting in an Atraxa is good enough. I want to find my High Noon as fast as possible. Like, High Noon or a Counterspell is all I need here. That should be fine. I'm gonna cycle Lórien for a land here. I don't want to draw any more of these lands. I really want to find spells now. They're gonna dig through time and response. Can't stop that. Sure, go ahead. This indicates Veil of Summer pretty heavily, because why didn't they just exile the Thoughtseize? This shows me that they probably have Veil of Summer for a counterspell. So I can't even counter an Omniscience. I need to, like, double counterspell it. I'm gonna get my last on-tap land. Okay, High Noon, nice. Okay. Pretty cool. They can't win anymore. They can't win instantly anymore. Now they need to... Now that their win is now, like, a, what, 7-turn line? Yep, pretty good against you. And I don't think their deck has a way to remove it. They might have like a Crowsand Grip in the sideboard or something, I don't know. But I don't know if their main deck can beat an enchantment. Pretty good. Because now if they show and tell, put in Omniscience, I still get my spell, they have used theirs, and I can blow up their Omniscience. Thoughtseize, sure. That's your spell this turn. You don't get to do anything else. Obviously they have like a multi-turn line here where they get to slowly pick apart my hand, but now Veil of Summer also doesn't win the game because they can't cast a Veil of Summer in response to a counterspell, and they can't cast Veil of Summer into Show and Tell because that's 2 spells. Yeah, like High Noon just completely dunks on this deck. Like, I don't know, it's just not great for them here. I don't know how they get out of this. They don't have enough. Oh, if they fetch, all right. I would like to draw something useful. At the moment, it's still a bit scary to me. And I'm only drawing lands somehow. I think I will buy Kaheera. At least put something on the board. Yeah, I should definitely buy Kaheera here so that I can at least play a threat if I don't have anything next turn. Teferi would be amazing, but who knows what I draw. A Counterspell would be good too. Reprieve would be good. I have a lot of good spells in my deck right now. Let's see what we draw. They Brainstorm Shuffle. Yeah, their game plan has to pivot now. Now, against High Noon, you don't want to show and tell him in Omniscience anymore. He should now be aiming to show and tell and attracts onto the battlefield and win with that. Like, you should be trying to get an Atraxa into play and win with Atraxa. Man, they have the third Thoughtseize. Yeah, they're ripping my hand apart here. Really good for them. They're going to be able to take Get Lost, and then next turn, because I just keep drawing lands, literally lands only. I'm literally only drawing lands this whole game. Because of this, they're able to next turn put an Omniscience into play. But they can't really do anything with it, so that's fine, I suppose. If they have Counterspells, I'm not in a good spot. But yeah, they get to put Omniscience into play now, because they were able to Thoughtseize me 3 times before I drew a single Counterspell. That's fine. It's okay. The later I draw a Counterspell, the more density of Counterspells are in my deck, so it's fine. It's fine. Not tilting at all. Alright, he's gonna cast a Dig Through Time here? Or something? Yep, Dig Through Time. Nice. you leave in your graveyard. Thoughtseize at dig through time. You should usually just exile the dig through time to your dig through time, because what's the point in having 2 in the graveyard? This game ain't gonna be that long. He's on a 4-turn clock with Kaheera, but I'm assuming he has something to answer Kaheera right now. He only gets 1 spell though, so that's cool. Show and tell. Resolves. Nothing I can do really. Yeah, hello. What you doing? What you putting in? Omniscience won't really do anything. Omniscience really does barely anything. Well, if they have a dig through time in hand, Omniscience is decent, I guess. Yeah, okay. Omniscience, sure. I put Get Lost on top. Take action. My turn. I draw Get Lost. I destroy Omniscience. They have nothing in response. I attack Kaheera. And they're approaching death. A High Noon off the top is pretty good. Teferi is decent. Counterspell is decent. Show and tell, sure. What you putting in? Atraxa. You should have done this way, way earlier. Way earlier. I have another show and tell and another Atraxa. Yeah. Not great. Pretty annoying, to be honest. So I could kill Atraxa, but then next turn we have the same exact problem. Or I could try to dig for like a Teferi into like a Teferi. Teferi Time Raveler is pretty good here. Yeah. They can't cast a spell here. They're not allowed to. I don't know why they put yeah, actually I'm fine actually. Unless they get Thoughtseize. If they get Thoughtseize back, then I'm not in a good spot. I need them to not put Thoughtseize back on top of their library. My turn. Take action. What, you have the Boseiju? No way. My turn. You can't cast spells. Okay. Kill Atraxa. You can Brainstorm. Oh no, you discarded Brainstorm. What you have? Nothing. Okay. Attack. Down to 6. If they fetch, they die. They might not see this, but if they fetch, they die. Take their time. Nope, they didn't cast a spell. Okay. Well, they get to show and tell in an Atraxa now, and now I'm kind of in a bad spot, I guess. Hoping to draw a good card off the top here. Maybe eventually I'll draw a decent card. I get to draw more cards. Leyline, Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is decent, I guess. Demonic Tutor could be good. Yeah. Yeah. They're drawing well. They're drawing good cards. But again, if I drew a single counterspell, this game would have been fine. It could still happen though. Could easily still happen. They can't cast another spell. And Supreme Verdict doesn't beat what I'm doing. They put another show and tell on top. Okay. Sure. Okay. Pass the turn. My turn. A counterspell would be great here. Would be really good. A reprieve would be amazing. I mean, you could have used your map tokens, it's free, but it just increases the track's power, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. You know I'm probably going to wipe the board next turn, right? My god, we drew a counterspell, finally. Let's go. Winnable. Let's go. Supreme Verdict, you can't counter that. And then now your next spell isn't going to resolve. Do I think they have another Atraxa? I'll let them Demonic Tutor if they're Demonic Tutor. Do they have another Atraxa? No way. I mean, I think I counter the show and tell, because I don't know if they have another Atraxa. I'm gonna counter this. They can't cast a spell here. They have to let this resolve. They just have to watch this happen. Yep. Map tokens don't do anything without creatures. That's why I was saying you should have used them on Atraxa. That was free. This will not let you cast another spell. I don't know what you were trying to do, but you're not allowed to cast a spell here. Obviously, I could still top deck a land and be in a bad spot, but pretty much any card that isn't a land can win me the game here. Okay, Mana Drain is fine. That buys time. Mana Drain is fine. And, like, now they have to, like, actually find a good card. Like, if they just cast a Demonic Tutor, that's basically a free turn for me. Like, that's what I meant with High Noon buys me a lot of time, because they only get one spell per turn. If they want to, like, what are they going to do? Dig through time? That's fine. You can do that. You can dig through time. How many cards are in the graveyard? 13? No. Dig through time. What they exiled? They exiled all the Atraxas because they can't get them back. They left all show and tells in. They exiled the Thoughtseize. Okay, cool. That resolves. Hover my High Noon, so they highlights it for them, thinking that that was what held priority. Which is a little bit of a bluff, so they cast a big spell into my Mana Drain. Another show and tell. I'll counter that again. I can't let them resolve an Atraxa. I need to find something that deals 1 damage to them. A second High Noon, a Wandering Emperor. These are all good cards. Put a show and tell back on top. Okay. I need anything that does 1 damage to them. Come on. Brainstorm. That's good. That's not bad. That's pretty good, actually. Cast Brainstorm. They do get a show and tell next turn, which is pretty good, but... Alright, there we go. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh no, frick! I should have put this on top. I held land in hand. Because now I lose the Thoughtseize. Now I lose the Thoughtseize. Oopsie. That was a misplay. I hope they don't have a Thoughtseize. I hope they just go for like a show and tell. Yeah, show and tell. What you putting into play? I put another High Noon into play actually, that's pretty good. Hit you for 5. You can't cast any more spells because there's still a High Noon in play. I guess putting High Noon in my hand was a misplay against Thoughtseize, but it was actually the best possible play against Show and Tell. And I didn't know a Show and Tell was coming, so yeah, they're out. And this is what I mean when I say High Noon completely stomps the Show and Tell matchup. Even though I drew so many lands that game, it didn't matter because we have a High Noon, so they just can't win. It makes them stumble so hard. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, I go first. I have the lock in hand. They have no companion. Is this keepable? I think it is. No removal spell is a little difficult, but I do have 3 lands and I have a Surveil land, so I think I'm fine. I'm gonna start, and I go first. If I didn't go first, I would have mulliganed this hand, but I go first, so it's fine. Okay, so yeah, Meticulous Archive start. Supreme Verdict. Is that a card I need in the matchup? I don't know what I'm playing against. I think I'm gonna keep it. I don't know what I'm playing against, but if it's like Reanimator, I'll need Supreme Verdict. Blue black fetch. Likewise. I'm not gonna slam a High Noon here because I don't know what I'm playing against. High Noon in the early game is never bad, but sometimes against some decks you wanna, like, I'm only not playing it here because I want to hold up a counterspell. High Noon usually is decent to play. Oh, the control mirror. I see. Okay. That's interesting. So we want to try and resolve Teferi somehow. I don't know how, but we're going to have to try and resolve Teferi. Pretty good hand against control, though, apart from the Supreme Verdict. Here in the matchup, we want Brainstorms. We do not want Source of Plowshares. We want Brainstorms, Counterspells, lands. Just keep hitting lands. I'm going to play another Surveil land on this turn. Hopefully they go for something. Yeah, don't Brainstorm an end step, guys. Good game. Is he Brainstorm locked? Yeah, this is why you don't Brainstorm on end step, guys. That is rough. He's Brainstorm locked. That is rough. Never Brainstorm on end step, guys. On enemy's end step. Always Brainstorm after you've drawn your card for turn. You see way more cards that way, and you get to not lock yourself out. So I know I'm taking 2 extra turns now. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Jin's a cool win con. Wait, what? Ah, okay. Makes a copy of Jin in his deck. Okay. So I know he's not drawing a land next turn as well because of the Brainstorm cards. So here I get to play a tap land. And then on my turn I get to force a Teferi through with a counterspell. Yep. Yes, discard more cards. And now Teferi will resolve. Nothing you can do. Should have done that on my second main phase so I can do something with the mana, but it's okay. Teferi resolves and he concedes. Yeah, unlucky. Control mirror. Don't Brainstorm on your opponent's end step unless you're a combo deck. That's my advice for you Magic players out there. See you in the next game. Okay, I go first against the Lurus deck. Sand is interesting. I have both my Surveil lands. I don't know. It's against a Lurus deck. Ragavan kind of destroys me. But at the same time, I have the Sunset Revelry. I have a Supreme Verdict. I think I'll keep this one. I don't need a second Brainstorm. Thought Seize. Okay. What you taking? If he takes Sunset Revelry, it's very obvious that he's on some kind of version of Burn that has hand hate. If he takes a Counterspell, that's probably the most likely thing that he'll take. If he takes Supreme Verdict, I guess he's on a creature deck. I don't know. I have a good spread of cards here. They took the Counterspell. Okay. Interesting. So he's actually way lower life than me, so Sunset Revelry might actually not cut it this game. I think I'm going to Brainstorm and then fetch. Hide information from him. Find some good cards. That's not what I need right now. I like the High Noon. I think I'll keep the Supreme Verdict. I'm just going to put away this land. I can even fetch for it later. He's not doing too well because I'm not low yet. And I'm still at 20 life. And turns are passing. Not really where the Rakdos deck wants to be. Dashing a Ragavan is okay. Yeah, you can take my Meticulous Archive. That's okay. Sure. Fine by me. What now? Dragon's Rage Chandler. Nice, thank you. Thank you for putting a creature on the battlefield. Now I get a creature with Meticulous with Sunset Revelry. And I will fetch Wait, I'm at 17, he's at 15. If I fetch shock low enough, I can deal myself like a bunch of damage just to gain life. Is it worth to deal myself fetch, shock? 5 damage to gain 4 life isn't worth it, so I'm not gonna fetch shock here. I'm just gonna fetch a Surveil land. Oh, SOO SOO Plowshares. I'll take that. I'll take that. Sunset Revelry. Draw a card, make blockers. Didn't gain life, but that's okay. Thoughtseize is a very interesting card in your deck, dude. I don't get it, but you go ahead and do whatever you want. Oh, he might be Shadow. He might just be Rakdos Death Shadow. Yeah, he's shocking that land in. Probably a Death Shadow deck. Which SOO SOO Plowshares is very good against. Yeah, dashing Ragavan's going to be kind of difficult right now for you. What you going to do? Lightning Bolt one of my tokens? Nothing. Move to attacks. Not attack. Not going to cast Ragavan, not going to attack, nothing. Okay. Gonna cycle this and get a land. Just gonna be basic island, I think. Meh. No. I'm gonna get Meticulous Archive. I'm gonna get Mystic Sanctuary. I'm gonna play Mystic Sanctuary, put Revealed back on top, so that I can just keep hitting land drops over and over again. I'm gonna play a High Noon. 1 spell a turn from now on. Yep. Establishing the lock. Alright, they lightning bolt one of my tokens, which is good for me because that means they are casting a real spell on my token that I got basically for free. Surveil. Oh, are you Phoenix? An Arclight Phoenix deck? Oh, he might be Reanimator. That's interesting. He might be a Reanimator deck. What's the plan? Unholy Heat. Okay, Unholy Heat is a weird one, but that's their only spell this turn. So now I can just remove this Dragon's Rage Channeler and I'm not worried. They only gain 1 life, they can Surveil, but they can't cast another spell. Yep, nice.
Oh, hell no, I'm out of here.
Goodbye. What the hell? They just don't want to see it anymore, I guess. They understand that, like, yeah, at this point, they're slowed down so much that I'm just gonna get, like, my value, like, is gonna build up over time, and their deck just isn't built to... The deck isn't built to play under a High Noon. They're trying to put something in the graveyard and reanimate at the same turn, right? Slowing someone down by 1 turn can make the difference. Quick game. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, I go first. I have a really good hand, honestly. Supreme Verdict is obviously a little weird sometimes, because if they're not a creature deck, but they have no companion. And I have the full spread of selection, counterspell, removal spell. Easy keep. Any day of the week. Play this, I even get to fetch a Surveil land. The Surveil lands are really good. I think, like, being able to fetch them is just so good. Deathrite Shaman. So I could exile this right now, because I have lands. Ooh, that's an interesting choice. I could either try to, like, sculpt my hand to be better, but I have Brainstorm. I'm gonna exile this Deathrite Shaman instantly. Let's try to, like, stop their game plan, because our hand is pretty stable. So let's try to stop their game plan here. Go to Teferi. Chuck a land and pause the turn, see if they try to, like, cast anything. Dark Ritual, gonna have that. Necropotence. Oh, we just did the thing to them. Okay. Yeah, it's over, dude. Mana drain the Necropotence. Oh, good lord. We're about to do the thing. We draw a Counterspell. They are cooked. play land. Play Teferi on turn 3. Yeah, dude, it's over. Jeez. Wow, that's like barely even fair in my opinion. Wow. Yeah, they're in a bad spot now. Jesus. Wow, that's rough. Okay. Good luck, man. Good luck. Don't know what you're gonna do here. Like, a Bowmaster won't cut it. Damn. Damn. Alright, mana drain in action. This card is spice. Okay. They might be on Jund, actually. Looking at their mana base. And the fact that they have Deathrite. They might be on Jund. But Jund Necropotence is crazy. Nah, I think they're just on regular. Maybe Golgari Necro, I don't know. They have another one? They do not. My turn. Yikes! Yikes! And a High Noon? Yikers, that's crazy. Plus the Fairy. Yikes, man. And a High Noon, and a Reprieve? It's not looking good for your boy over there on the other side of the table. So the problem here, though, is that if I cast High Noon, they can end step a Bowmaster. But I think that's okay. That's okay, dude. That's okay. Sure. Like, one Bowmaster doesn't do anything. High Noon. They're, like, in big trouble here. Yeah, they have, like, a Bowmaster or something, right? Or they have a Boseiju. Sure, I'll take that. I'll take an extra land drop. No way! No way! I misclicked decline! I misclicked decline. I just misclicked decline. Dude! Oh my god. Okay, well, I guess the game isn't completely over for them, but I misclicked decline, really? Dude, oh my god. My finger was like slipped on the mouse button. That's so unfortunate, dude. Ugh, there's no way. Yeah, you can have that back. There's no way I accidentally misclicked decline. I'm so sad. It doesn't matter. It's just an extra land drop that I would have made. It's fine. I have to Teferi, but like... Ugh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oh, I can't believe I've never accidentally declined a Boseiju. That's never happened to me in my life. Karn. Nah, I'm just gonna counter that because I can.
Here's to the ones that we
because,
got.
well, they're dead. Because I can just, like, they're gonna try and cast big spells for the rest of the game. Because without Necropotence, that deck is absolute garbage. Yeah, I had fun. I always love countering a Necropotence. So let me explain. This deck is the weird Golgari greedy value deck that just has Necropotences and March of Wretched Sorrows and all of those, and just has big Planeswalkers, has Nykthos and stuff. It's that deck. Yeah, unfortunately for them, their Necropotence was countered. So guess what? The rest of their deck is complete garbage. It has Karn, it has New Ashiok. Like, I'm sorry, but those cards are not timeless playable. The only reason this deck sees any play is single-handedly because of Dark Ritual Necro. And you can just draw your whole deck and just always have cards in hand. That's the only reason that deck is good. But I'm telling you guys, Mana Drain Teferi, oh, that was spicy. Love that. So yeah, and they're dead because I fetch a Mystic Sanctuary, play Mystic Sanctuary, put Mana Drain on top, plus Teferi, draw a card. Counter the next two spells, and then I Ultimate Teferi, cast Brainstorm, exile 3 of their lands, and they die. That's how this game ends. GG. Okay, so our opponent goes first, and we have the good old 6-card hand. No removal, but our opponent has no companion, so they could really be on anything here. No companion, I say this a lot, and I've never really explained it, but think about the companion rules. Yorion makes you have a big deck, which makes you more of a control deck. Lurrus makes you have small permanents, which means you're more of an aggro deck. Giganta says you can't have double pips, which is usually just going to be Domain Zoo, because they have a lot of multicolored spells. What other companion is even valid? Kaheera is usually either an elemental deck or a control deck, because Kaheera, usually people play with no creatures in their deck. Like, no companion is, like, scary, because what could they have that makes the companion rule invalid? So this hand, it's like barely keepable. I think I will keep it, but it's very risky. What are they playing? Mono black. Yeah, mono black doesn't need a companion, I suppose. Right. Let's play a land. They might try to Thoughtseize me here, or they might try to win. I don't know. We'll see. Dark Ritual, nothing I can do. Just they went first. If they didn't go first, I'd be fine here. Sheoldred. That I can beat. Alright, let's see. Gonna Brainstorm on end step here. It's bad practice, but it sees more cards than doing on my than looking for a land. No way to really kill Sheoldred. Sheoldred will kill me before I can kill her. So let's put away this useless Gaia's Blessing, and then I guess we will redraw the Wandering Emperor. Sheoldred isn't as scary as some other things they could have. Yeah, I'm gonna fetch now. I don't want this Gaia's Blessing. Gain 2. Oh, if I mana drain something, actually, I just realized if I mana drain anything, I can Supreme Verdict on my turn. But they might just not cast a spell. I don't know. Attack with Sheoldred, ouchie. Yeah, they didn't cast a spell. But good thing for me is I drew Souls to Plowshares. Goodbye. Bye bye, Sheoldred. Was fun seeing you. Nighthawk Scavenger. We're just going to counter mana drain that because we have the combo here. We have the control combo. Mana drain, get the mana, play Mystic Sanctuary, put mana drain back on top, play Teferi, hold a double counterspell. The usual. This is amazing. I love doing this. It's so fun. Ramp out Teferi and just have a free Teferi essentially. Like, what are they gonna do now? We just went from super far behind to that Sheoldred to just winning the game because of Teferi. Off of one mana drain. It's a good card. Alright, let's see how they get back from this. Target opponent discards 2 cards, and those 2 cards lose 2 life, and you can do that again next turn. Yeah, I'm fine actually. Oh, more counterspells. Nice. Draw a card with Teferi. Dig through time. I don't have anything in my graveyard actually. I should use mana though. I should use mana. I guess I can get a Thundering Falls. Then surveil this into the graveyard. And then cast Dig Through Time. Because they're tapped out, they can't really do anything to stop me. And then Teferi untaps 2 lands and I get to hold up a counterspell. I could just get more counterspells. Like, I don't think I can lose if I just gain life and counter every spell. I know I saw a High Noon there and I could have taken it, but I'm just gonna make sure I just don't lose here. Yeah, and they're just gonna die pretty quickly to Teferi Emblem. Because their deck is super clunky, and again, it's completely based on Dark Ritual. If you somehow beat their Dark Ritual play, they don't do anything for the rest of the game. I think this deck is bad for the format. Not because it's powerful, because it makes games irrelevant. It's a non-game right now. They're not playing the game because their first Dark Ritual plan failed, so they just can't do anything to stop me. Like, I have 4 counterspells in hand. Like, nothing they do is gonna resolve for the rest of the game. And they know it. They know it, but they still have to play on the off chance that they can somehow resolve another Dark Ritual. Like, I don't know. I don't like this deck. I think it's bad for the format, but you be the judge. I don't know. I feel like the Dark Ritual decks are actively bad for the format. Don't get me wrong. Mana drain into Teferi is absolutely not fair. That's absolutely broken. But, I mean, it is beatable. Sacrifice a Planeswalker, sure. Goodbye, Wandering Emperor. You've done your job. I played my land this turn, okay. I could gain some life. Yeah, I guess I will, because I can. Like, sure. No, let's not die to a random Grey Merchant, even though I have like 15 million counterspells in my hand. Yeah, no, I'm good. Like, all these bad cards, like, you're tapping out every turn, and your counterspells just getting countered. You're just gonna die. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, your deck is bad. Sorry, technical difficulties. Anyway, we are currently just destroying them. We drew a Mystic Sanctuary, so let's just put the nail in the coffin here. Let's just show them they're not winning this game, feasibly. Like, their spells will not resolve, and they will die with no lands. I don't know if they want to keep playing this, but let's just make it clear that they are dead. Like, very dead. They are very, very dead. And if they counterspell here, I'm just gonna counter with a card they've not seen. Okay, I won't counter that. That's just not worth it. That's just not worth countering. I won't counter that. Okay, cool. Anything else? Nighthawk Scavenger. I'm gonna counter it with a spell that they've not seen, so they know that I have more counterspells in hand. This is just like a mental thing I'm doing to them, because I want them to concede because it's over. Like, we can play this game, but now I'm just going to protect Kaheera every turn while drawing cards and exiling your lands. Like, if you really want to sit through that, be my guest, but I don't think you actually do. I think you're just doing that to yourself. I'm not even going to put it on top. Yeah, High Noon just as well. Like, okay. Remove this. Like, so they can't draw cards with it. Oh, I get 4 mana. Well, let's draw a card first. More lands. Exile another land.
To stop.
And
It's
they're
time
dead.
to stop.
GG.
Okay?
Yep, that's the deck without High Noon, but that's why we have that one-off Teferi, because, man, if they try to cheese you with some random 3-drop and you manage to Teferi them, yeah. I could go on more of a rant what I think this deck is just unhealthy for the format. You saw how they did nothing that entire game. If they had it earlier, I would have been dead. If they, instead of, like, Shieldred on turn 1, slam the Necropotence, or a One Ring, I would have not been able to come back. I would have lost that game, probably. Highly likely I would have lost that game. Or if they found more Dark Rituals. But because they only found one Dark Ritual, and only had a shield, which I was able to answer, which almost killed me, by the way. Yeah, it's just unlucky, I guess. But yeah, that's about it. Control forever, baby. Alright, time to wrap things up over here. Yeah, this deck is pretty good. You guys were able to see how much High Noon can screw over opponents. Just, like, becoming a cowboy and standing off with only one spell a turn. It can really mess with people. You guys unfortunately weren't able to see the burn matchup this video. I hope to upload maybe another video with this deck, because I'm really liking it. This is the deck I'm playing actively on the ladder to, like, rank up right now. It's just, like I said, it's a pretty tight pack control deck. It just does what it has to do. You saw mana drain Teferi twice. That was just devastating for opponents. Like, people can't come back from that on early Teferi, or, like, yeah, or just, like, locking them under High Noon. I don't know if I showcased the... Actually, no, I'm not going to even put that in. Yeah, but the High Noon Teferi lock is really potent. It makes they just can't play the game. And yeah, other than that, we're just a pretty tightly packed control. Like, look at the amount of 2-drops we have. You weren't able to see the mill matchup, so this card is completely irrelevant throughout this entire video. But again, mill... it's better to be prepared for mill than to not be prepared for mill and then lose to it, because losing to mill is very tilting. And yeah, we're really able to see the burn matchup, so Sunset Revelry came up but wasn't, like, as relevant. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Yeah, let's open an OTJ pack to seal it off. Oh yeah, we actually have a golden pack today as well, so we're gonna be opening the OTJ pack first and then the golden pack, right? Yeah, let's do OTJ first. Alrighty, so what we get? A uncommon bonus sheet, not great, and a rare card here. Claim Jumper. This is the commander card, right? That gets land. Yep. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a Plains card. Not basic Plains card. Any Plains card. And put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then, if an opponent controls more land than you, repeat this process once. If you search your library this way, shuffle. So this is like the anti-screw card. A 3-mana 3/3 is just not a playable card in Timeless. And other than the text it has, it's really just a 3-mana 3/3. Could be cool, but mostly a commander card. Yeah. Not a great pack, but we do get a golden pack, and golden packs are pretty cool. I like that it still has the Nuka Penna writing, but yeah, golden packs are a pretty cool addition to the arena, where you just, if you buy 10 packs, you get 1 golden pack. So let's open this up. And golden packs contain random rares and mythics from throughout arena. So we got Ardenta Massacre, useless. Farsight Ritual, could be playable in standard, I suppose. This is a pretty cool commander, but I already own him. Smuggler Surprise is a pretty cool spree card for a ramp deck. Our mythic is Meticulous Captive Kingpin. Whenever one or more opponents each lose exactly 1 life, put a +1/+1 card on Meticulous. Exile top card of your library until the next turn, you may play that card. Interesting. I'm pretty sure this goes infinite somewhere, but cool commander, I suppose. And finally, we get Bristly Bill, Spine Sower. Yeah, that was a pretty bad pack, but again, it was completely for free, so I'll take that. Packs are pretty bad, but yeah. So what it from on my part. Yeah, I'll see you guys next video, I guess. More videos coming. And yeah, thank you so much for all the views. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate all the comments. I read all comments and I try to respond to every single comment. I've actually been hearting every comment. That might stop soon, but hey, I just have to show love because you guys are amazing. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you hanging out. And yeah, I'm the Control Guy, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, I bid you farewell.